That's why I open woke sessions. Mind, body, soul, no second guessing. Spilling truths, no sugarcoat dressing. Wisdom hunting, cash and knowledge blessing. Hands to the streets, wide open and woke. Eyes on the prize, ain't no time for jokes, lies and highs. These chains we roll, truth on the mic, destiny and vote. Hands to the streets, wide open.
Hey, how y'all doing out there? This is Audi Rob, known as The Messenger, also on TikTok. Be sure y'all follow me on TikTok as The Messenger. But yeah, this is Audi Rob coming to you with information that make you want to say, wow. Check it out. Hey, man, I got to tell y'all, it's been a while. Basically because they've been trying to shut a brother down. Anybody that's spreading any kind of real information, they're trying to quiet us. That's both on TikTok and across the board, everywhere. So, you know, it's been a minute, but with all the stuff that they're trying to quiet us down with, we're still here, and I'm still here on YouTube. But y'all be sure to follow me on TikTok under The Messenger. I have to get back on live over there. Anyway, I got some information for you today. We're going to look at some alien mummies, the ones that was in South America. Let's get a little brief insert, and they're on their way out there to look at these alien mummies. And they're pretty much out there. I went to a part of the film, so you didn't have to go through a whole lot of the travel there. And you just I want to get there and see the information. Bam. You like me? I like you too. We don't need to hear the whole story. Just show me the information. Here we go. We're going to show you the information. But let's get to this. Let's bring this baby on up here. And let's get it started. Way there.
We're getting close to this location where we're supposed to be being taken to. No idea where we are. It's a bit hard to actually talk. It's very thin the air. We've been climbing for a good, I don't know if it seems about 45 minutes an hour. I know we started off at 11,000 feet. God knows what we are at this moment in time. But we've been now instructed to turn our cameras off. What also was quite concerning is that we weren't allowed to bring our cell phones with us. And of course, that's a big concern, as you can well imagine. But we had to face the situation, and myself and Barry did have this discussion back earlier at the hotel. Should we pretty much just throw our cards in, put our tails between our legs, go back home and just not go through it, because it is a bit concerning, this. But we decided against that. We decided to, well, you know, what the hell, we're going to go for it. We don't know what we're going to be shown. We've been taken to a certain location. I have no idea where we are, but concerned, yes, absolutely concerned. Yeah, we will do. We are turning off the cameras now, and we'll see what happens.
With our high altitude trip over, we were escorted into a building we'd never seen before, and into a room where men waited in surgical dress. Within moments of our arrival, we too had to dress in the same surgical gowns and masks, and body after body was presented to us to film and document.
You see the teeth. And what we've got here is the side of the skull showing the teeth, which could be obviously from fish. It doesn't look like human teeth. And you can see the rib cage. It looks like it's manufactured. The arm length down here to its lower than its knees, and of course the feet at the bottom. This is a side profile of that particular X-ray of the body, again confirming that this is in fact been manufactured. Yeah, they have like a gold implant. So what we're dealing with here is three hands, and what we've been told is that they seem to have some type of implant on top of them, and as we can see, we'll get some close-ups, but as we can see, there is a design. It looks like it's gold in coloration, some type of pattern right across the bridge of the hand, and the same for this one. Looks like these two seem to have that marking and this one doesn't. But as you can tell from these, they're very similar, three fingers. And of course we're dealing with, again, a number of extra bones. We're dealing with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But they do look to have six with it. Six is the tip.
Wow.
Okay, so what we're actually seeing here is one of the hands. This is representing this metal plate, implant, whatever you want to call it. As we mentioned earlier, it's gold in colour, it has some type of pattern to it, and it does feature on two of the hands. It's definitely visible throughout the x-ray. As for what that actually represents, if it's metal, what type of metal, that's currently unknown. Like I say, analysis is currently taking place, samples have been taken, and you can see the 6 bones in the fingers. And what's very, very interesting is how these are actually put together here, how they're joined. And it looks like there's further bones as well. Now, anatomically, I'm no expert anatomically. But what I can say is that all these particular hands are all going to fall down to the analysis. The independent analysis that's taking place. Maybe secondary analysis might be necessary to confirm if this structure is in fact correct. So at this moment, it's open at the moment, we don't know. But what we do know is that we're waiting on analysis to come back to confirm if there's anything authentic about these particular hands. But what is interesting is these are significantly different than what we've just seen in that smaller body. There seems to be a consistent amount of bone and muscle that seems to be evident in the top part of this hand, as they are in the other two. I wouldn't really want to comment without the analysis confirming that these are actually authentic, but at the end of the day, if anything comes back from these hands that they are or have not been altered, well, it is what it is, as you can see. A hand may be of something which might actually be a new type of species or an old type of species, an unknown species for sure. We're looking at 2 skulls here, and as you can see, the biggest difference here is the elongation, because we've all seen skulls probably from monkeys before, and as you can see, the long elongation, which is something unusual. Though they do have the size of from the front of monkey, but they're very large eye sockets. It does have this long elongation. Apart from that, it does seem to have some cranial ridges. We have a centre cranial ridge, and we have 2 cranial arches coming round on either side, and that's exactly the same for this one, which is almost identical, to be honest with you. There's not much difference between them. We are told that there's something that's inside of this, maybe a little part of the vertebrae, maybe a little bit of bone, but also on this particular one, what we can see is the first part of the vertebrae. As we can see here, we'll take some close-up shots of these. Yeah, and probably similar in weight. Okay, what's interesting about these particular x-rays of the 2 skulls that we've just been looking at is that the first thing that is interesting, but I want you to know the elongation of these skulls, because this is one of the biggest mysteries about these skulls, is it's purely its shape and the cranial ridging. You can see from the cranial ridging, and you can also see what looks to be some type of membrane on both skulls as it's shaped at the back. And also you can clearly see the jawbone in there, but again, like I mentioned, no teeth. Looks to be large eyes, and we're not too sure what these are, what this represents in the scans, in these x-rays. It has been suggested that there may be some type of metal plates in there. It's a little bit unsure, not too sure. And you can see the centre position here to the vertebrae, and of course causing the skull to be able to be regularly balanced properly. Okay, so what we're looking at here is a secondary body, a little bit longer and larger than the first one that we saw over tonight.
Steve thought it prudent to measure the body. which was 25.5 inches long, and at its widest point between the shoulders was a meagre 7.5 inches wide.
Now, what's interesting is, from what we looked at earlier with the two previous small skulls, that this looks to have the same type of skull that we've recently just seen, but in fact attached to the body in this occasion. And if we actually take a measure of this, and we know what we were measuring from last time, is that it's coming in at 70 millimetres, which is roughly around about the same size as the previous two skulls, with the same type of cranial ridging, the large eye sockets, and we can see the central point from vertebrae and that long elongation of the head. It's also interesting to note that we've been told from the x-rays that have been carried out is that it looks to have a skeletal, a neck, which may have been adjustable, or which may have got shorter and larger. It's interesting to note on its legs that its right hip joint seems to have what is referred to as an implant or some type of mechanism in there, similar to what you probably find in elderly people when they have some type of hip replacement or something of that degree. It's got I have to admit though, it's got a very, very unusual posture, because it doesn't look like nothing I've ever seen before, to be honest with you, the way this is designed here at the top. Very, very straight, very broad, very unusual rib cage. Again, like most of the other things that we've been seeing tonight, has this covering of this white powder. As to what that is still a mystery, and apparently waiting on analysis to come back to confirm what that consists of. So what we're seeing here on the x-ray for this particular body is an oversized clavicle bone here, as you can see across the tops here. Also, what is interesting is that it doesn't seem to have any ball joints to the top part of its arm, so we're not too sure how that would have actually moved or manoeuvred around. Also, what's interesting is that it looks like the bones are knitted, so which would suggest that it is in fact more of an adult than it is a child. And the absence of being able to fit lungs in, we have to ask the question, how did this creature breathe? There doesn't seem to be any evidence of a nasal passage either. So either this is a completely manufactured creature, or it may be something that we've so profound we don't know what it is, and it may not have required oxygen. It may not have been breathing oxygen. We just don't know. We can see obviously the average deformity in the hip, and what looks to be the X-ray catching a metallic implant or something that's been placed in the hip to maybe strengthen it. Does look like there's an abnormality there, and of course the long neck as well. Very interesting, but really I've not seen anything that's really has grabbed me. But nevertheless, though, we're going to have to wait for the analysis to come back to confirm is this any known creature at all. A bit of a mystery at this moment in time, but as for the x-rays, I'm not very convinced on this particular one, but who knows? We could be looking at something that we couldn't possibly fathom in our minds, or in fact something which has been, again, manipulated. So what we're dealing with here is a second body, and looks more or less similar in size, though we are told that this represents a female of this species. Notice again the same size, roughly cranium, the same sort of arching and face features, central position on the vertebrae, slightly shorter neck in this case. But what is most interesting is that it looks like to be some type of implant there, which is metal, which we can clearly identify that on the x-rays. Not too sure what that is. But what also is probably the most significant thing about this is that it does look to have a raised stomach area. And apparently, according to the x-rays, it would look like there are 3, by all intents and purposes, eggs in there, indicating that this species, or whatever this is, may have been reptilian in nature. Nevertheless, though, the only characteristical differences between these two is that one seems to have a more longer neck, and this particular one seems to have these metal implant, and of course this raised abdomen area where.
Yeah, so that's what we're looking at right there. These alien mummies, right quick, they've proven them that they are real, and they got some basis showing that some of the showings show that they were real and they were dated back. Yeah, but not gonna keep this recording too long. But I just wanted to give y'all a little something to look back at some of these alien mummies that were found in South America, and that these will be back on the forefront again once this alien disclosure comes back out full force again, within the next few months. Okay, but right now they got something else planned for us. We're on the edge of either a financial crisis or a power outage. It's something on the horizon. So y'all just get prepared. Don't have no fear. The object is not to have any fear, but to observe, but do not absorb. Okay? Don't let your emotions, don't let your get swayed by it. Don't let your emotions get you all tied up to what you're seeing up in the sky or whatever's about to happen. Power outages. They want to install fear. That's the only way they can get things going, if they install fear. But in the meantime, I need everybody just to come together and just realize that you have the power within. Okay? You can change your situation and your surroundings by going within. And then when you manifest, you have to do that with feeling, and not only just visualization. You have to visualize it, then you got to step into it, then you got to feel it. What does it feel like to be in that situation? What does it feel like to have the abundance around you? Yes, you got to step into it. You got to speak it. You got to think it. Then at night, when you go to sleep at night, your subconscious mind is bringing that more into your reality. Now, if you do it the other way in survival mode, and trying to get your hustle on and this and that, well, and you got bills coming at you every which way, and that's what's been on your mind. That's what you've been talking about. Well, your subconscious mind is going to bring that more into your reality. So you got to change what you think and what you say. Then you can create that reality around you. But in the meantime, you got to stay alert. Stay alert. And that's just a little insert on those mummies, to give y'all a little insert of what's being hidden. That's going to be coming right back out now, because I'm sure that some of the UFO alien people out there who already know about some of this stuff that's out. But yeah, this is going to come back around again, showing that the information that they found was correct, but they keep pushing it up underneath. Next, I'm going to bring about how there's a power plant underneath those pyramids. Yeah, big 8 pillars going down 6,500 feet in diameter, and there are 8 of them going down 2,200 feet to another whole structure underneath. Yeah, they can't show this to y'all yet, because they know good and well ain't no human on earth built that power plant. Okay? They had to have super technology to do this. So yeah, this is some high-tech stuff. But it's all true, and it's all hidden, and it's now coming out, because everything has to be revealed. And you're going to hear it on Wide Up and Old Podcast, for sure. For real, and all day and all night long. Because I got information to make you want to say, wow. So, y'all check me out on YouTube. Please come through and follow a brother, because I got to get my lives back up so I can get back on there. But in the meantime, y'all peace, love, and don't go back into that light. Set your intention on waiting for your own star to appear, and that will usher you back to base reality, where you can get back to your God body. Hey, it's deep. It's deep. We got more coming your way, though. Intro. I should say, theme song. Take me out of here.
Blast wide open, woke sessions. Mind, body, soul, no second guessing. Spilling truths, no sugarcoat dressing. Wisdom hunting, cash and knowledge blessing. Hands to the streets, wide open the road. Eyes on the prize, ain't no time for jokes, lies and eyes. These chains we roll, truth on the mic, destiny and vote. Hands to the streets, wide open.
Apparently it's housing 3